Do you remember your first car? I do. It's a Peugeot 403. A boxy thing with a sunroof. I could stick my hand out the roof and wave. The seats folded all the way back and had a funny little knob marked AC, but it didn't have any air conditioning. Never knew what that meant. My second car was an XK150, an old Jaguar. Now this one's pretty nice looking. Mine didn't look like that. It only cost $200. Oh well, it was a great car. When you're a teenager, a car can mean many things. But most of all, I think it's about freedom. You're no longer dependent on other people to chauffeur you around. You go where you want to go, when you want to go. And by the way, that's a Jaguar in the hood, not a Rabbit. As we get older, we begin to look at the car more as a way to get from point A to point B, then to point C, where we load it up with stuff. And if we're lucky, we get it to point R and R. Some of my best memories have to do with cars and vans. In this case, a VW van. And I'm going to draw a windsurfer in the back because that's what I pull with it. And I'm not very good at drawing the people, but trust me, they and the dog are inside. And the nice thing about the van again, no matter which way you're going, it looks the same. Looking on the outside of a car, they really haven't changed a lot from the original jalopies to the current car. They've become a little more aerodynamic, a little sleeker. They still have 4 tires. Rotate them if you must. And then some are just a little fancier, faster, use more gas, more of a hobby. There is one thing that's quite a bit different, and this Current Consumers kind of highlights it, where they talk about making your car last a long time. They use an example, a Toyota Camry 4-cylinder. And they go through and they do the calculations for depreciation, and it's the choice between keeping the car for 15 years or buying a new one every 5 years. And the results are pretty dramatic. You spend a lot more money, about $69,000 if you trade it in, versus $41,000 if you keep it. The savings would pay for your next car. Let's go back in time to a car that we used to have during the 60s. 1963 Lincoln Continental. Huge car, suicide doors, lovely ride, very heavy car. But by 100,000 miles, it needed a head gasket, and we had to replace the transmission. It was pretty much done. Why is it that a modern car might last over 200,000 miles when the overall function and appearance of the car hasn't changed that much? Well, first of all, they've improved the metallurgy and materials that go into the car. We also have better fluids, synthetic oils that make the parts work better. They've taken the lead out of gas, added detergents. We now don't get the deposits and plugs and catalytic converters and pistons that we used to. Computers now monitor fuel precisely, which keeps excess gasoline from washing down cylinder walls and destroying rings. Quality control has improved dramatically, and body materials are now corrosion resistant. And paint, well, that'll last a long time. All that means you're going to save money. Let's take another look at this number, 100,000. That used to be the lifetime of a car. Now, if you only kept the car for 100,000 miles, as we've just seen, it can be quite a bit more expensive than you keep it a little bit longer. It's like leaving money on the table. So, the modern car, 100,000 miles, it can do that easily. 200,000 miles, with the good maintenance, it can do that. Heck, 250,000 miles plus is not out of the question. And what does that mean? Well, here's a little astronomy. The Earth to the Moon, the average distance, 240,000 miles. Well, that's a modern car. Maintain it, and you can drive it to the moon. Houston, all systems are go.